matutinus inveniat. Ille in quam Lucifer qui nescit occasum, Christus filius tuus, qui regressus ab inferis, humano generis serenus iluxit, et tecum vivit et regnat in saecula saeculorum.
Now, concerning the return of the true Christ and the Spirit's manifestation within us, my siblings, do not be shaken or alarmed. Let not a single soul deceive you, unless a rebellion comes first, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, that which opposes and exalts itself against every so-called God or object of worship, proclaiming itself to be God. The Christ will not manifest. A prophecy whispered through the ages, a pope foretold to be the last, and now the death of Pope Francis. The world turns its eyes to the so-called holy city. Is this the end of an era or the rise of something more sinister? Makosi, makosi, nyanibingelela nini makhaya, umprofeti wenu uShamulo, ikeda lamashishku, nyanga ya makosi Mkhulu Sseida. And I welcome you guys to a somewhat heavy episode of Kemi TV. Bagwethu kuyabanda. Hope everybody's keeping warm, man. Like the rain is messing up everything. Cigarettes, everything. But today we gather in light of the happening that took place this weekend and the rumble it's caused within the spiritual world. This is a heavy episode, by way to pre-warning before we go in. The information studied, gathered, and checked spiritually and through books is quite heavy. In light of the passing of the Pope this Easter weekend. The world is a-changing. The world is rumbling. Who is this man that when he passes, all the presidents in the world attend his funeral? We need to go into that and see anything ngokomoya, see anything ngokomqondo. Funa umuntu ocabangisise straight, hayi umuntu osifunela izinto ezincane. We are talking about world affairs here. We are talking about an occurrence that was prophesied nearly about 1,000 years ago or so. Who is Saint Malachi and how is he connected to this? How did he predict the coming of the Antichrist and the end of the world? Guys, as you listen to this episode, take notes. Wherever I miss any points, go ahead and correct me in there and fill in. I do feel like we're living in tumultuous times. I do feel like we're living in spiritually tumultuous times, and I see the content is out there, but the content is not enough. So I don't want the Kemites to miss out. I don't want the Kemites to miss out.
What did St. Malachi really see in his visions? Were his words a coded warning to the future? Is the church on the brink of spiritual rebirth or facing the grip of the Antichrist? Tonight we delve into history, hidden symbols and esoteric truths. From the medieval scrolls of Armagh to the golden halls of the Vatican, we will follow the path of prophecy, priesthood and power. This journey is not for the faint-hearted. Let's lift the veil. Saint Malachi, the 12th century Archbishop of Armagh, was no ordinary priest. Known for miracles and mystic visions, his pilgrimage to Rome marked a spiritual turning point. It was there, among the tombs of martyrs and apostles, that he received his vision, a cryptic list of 112 popes, each marked by a mysterious Latin phrase. The list reads like an oracle's hymn, full of allegory. Some names match startlingly close to papal coats of arms, regions, or characteristics, but the final entry is the most ominous. In the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will sit Peter the Roman, who will nourish the flock through many tribulations. When these things are finished, the city of 7 hills will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people. The end. This is not just prophecy, it is judgment, and if true, it places our time at the edge of apocalypse. Pope Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio, took the name of St. Francis of Assisi, whose father's name was Pietro or Peter, a subtle yet symbolic link to Malachi's final pope, Peter the Roman. He is also the first Jesuit pope, a spiritual warrior trained in discernment, mission and subtle authority. Jesuits, often misunderstood, hold secrets of both deep spiritual devotion and complex political histories. Under his papacy, we saw tremendous shifts, environmental advocacy, interfaith dialogue, but also criticism over doctrinal compromise. Was Francis the bridge, or the final gatekeeper before the storm? If he is Peter the Roman, the next pope may not rule, but unravel. The death of Pope Francis does not simply end a papacy, it symbolizes the breaking of a sacred seal. In esoteric traditions, the death of a spiritual figure marks the thinning of the veil. New forces emerge, powers shift. Francis's departure leaves not only a theological void, but also an energetic one. His presence maintained a delicate spiritual balance. Without him, Rome becomes a vulnerable epicenter. As the Church mourns, the cosmos stirs, something ancient reawakens. Rome, once the spiritual crown of earth, is now a city caught between the sacred and the secular. From the outside, its architecture still commands awe, but inside scandals fester and faith wanes. Priests abandon vows, congregations dwindle, corruption taints tradition. But prophecy does not always mean doom. It often means transformation. Like the phoenix, death may be the path to ascension. The fall of old Rome may birth a new spiritual order, one not ruled by dogma, but awakened through inner light. Now, 3 contenders emerge from the sacred conclave, each a reflection of prophecy, each a vessel of potential destiny. Cardinal Peter Turkson of Ghana, his very name Peter, echoes prophecy. He is, a man of ethics and vision. If elected, he would become the first black pope, and quite literally Peter the Roman, ruling from the city of 7 hills. For many, his rise would fulfill the final line. For others, it's a sign to watch closely. Cardinal Matteo Zuppi of Italy, an advocate for social justice, LGBTQ+ inclusion and progressive theology. Zuppi really represents the Church's modern face, but progress too can mask manipulation. Is he the peacemaker or the bridge to compromise? Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle of the Philippines. Charismatic, compassionate, and deeply spiritual. A leader from the East where mystics say a new light will rise. Could Tagle be the phoenix of a new spiritual age, or the herald of false unity? Prophecy is not prediction, it is a mirror. These 3 reflect not just the future of the Church, but really the battle within our collective soul. Lucifer, the morning star, was not always evil. He was, the most radiant of angels. His fall came through pride. He did not rebel by force, but by offering a seductive alternative to divine order. You shall be as gods. The Antichrist is not horns and chaos, but rather charisma cloaked in virtue. He mimics Christ so closely that honestly even the elect may be deceived. St. Paul warned of a man of lawlessness who would rise from within the temple. Revelation speaks of a beast that performs miracles in the sight of men. In esoteric traditions, the Antichrist comes not from the outside, but is born from corrupted spirit within the spiritual institution itself. He will wear the robes of holiness, but be the emissary of shadow. As the conclave convenes, we are not just choosing a man, but opening a gate. This is the age of discernment. Truth is not always found in the loudest voice, but in the still whisper within. Lucifer fell not because he hated light, but because he desired it more than he desired truth. The Antichrist rises not by force, but by consensus. He offers peace, but demands your soul. St. Malachi's final words echo now, not just as warning, but as invitation to awaken, to choose, to remember. The final pope, the dreadful judge, the fall of Rome, are these literal events or symbols for the soul's ultimate test? In these uncertain times, ask not only who sits on the throne of Peter, but what rules the throne of your heart. Comment below. What does your intuition tell you? Is the prophecy unfolding or already fulfilled? When the shepherd falls, the sheep must find their inner flame. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay sovereign, and above all, stay awake.